Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lacey and this is my art channel. This video is going up a day late, which sucks. I try and keep all of my uploads to Monday morning, but unfortunately I had a lot of mishaps when working on this week's video. It's a long story, but basically I was working on a completely different video and I had to hit the brakes, work on something else. I'll talk about it more in next week's video because I plan on finishing the video, but at this point I just wanted to get a video out, so I'm not gonna go into it that much. For this video, not a lot of thought went into it, to be honest. I had to pull an idea out of thin air basically. To put it into perspective, I normally have all of my video recording done by Friday and then I start the video editing, but this last week I didn't even film this until Friday, so it was hectic to say the least. I knew I needed to create a video fast. I wanted to do something relatively easy, so I decided to do digital art, mainly because I didn't need any materials besides my iPad. After I decided that, I knew that I wanted to do something that was in my comfort zone. No need to stress out more than I already had. So I went to an idea that I've done a lot in the past, and that is drawing animals with food. Not to eat, but for cuteness. So I was on a video call with my brothers, and one of my brothers said I should draw chickens. So that started half of the idea, and then I just love drawing desserts, so that was the other half. My first task normally is to find some reference photos. So I started looking at a lot of images of chickens. Fun fact, but my mom actually owns chickens. Her and her boyfriend have, I think, maybe like 5 chickens. They let me go out there and get the eggs when I was visiting, which is fun. Once I was looking at chickens, I saw some that I really loved, so I asked her to get either a silky or a buff laced Polish chicken, but I don't think she will. But look how cute they are. After that, I looked at a lot of images of desserts as well, so I could pair each chicken to a dessert. Sometimes I look on Pinterest, and sometimes I look on stock footage sites like Pexels, Pixabay, or Unsplash. For me personally, I normally use several images as references. It really just depends on if I can find a photo that's exactly what I'm imagining in my head. And of course, you can always draw from memory or from your own inspiration. I just like to have a few references at hand to refer to, especially for things like animals where you may want to make sure that you have the proportions the way that you want, etc. I teach a lot of drawing classes, and something that I tell my students all the time is that you learn way more about your subject by looking at the reference photos and then drawing them. For example, you may have a general idea of what a chicken looks like in your head, but when you're looking at images of different chickens, you're realizing, oh, they all have different beaks, for example. Or I never noticed that this chicken has more of a pink comb than a red one. And then stylistically, you get to decide which of those features you're going to keep and which ones you're going to change. So for this first chicken, I decided to draw a stack of pancakes. It's not really a dessert, but thought it was still fitting. A breakfast dessert, if you will. I chose a brown chicken just because I thought it looked good with the color scheme of the pancakes. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Rhode Island red chicken, and I think my mom has a couple of these. Very cute. I really took notice of the beak shape, the shape of the tail feathers. This is the one that had a pink comb and wattle, but I did decide to keep it dark red just to match the color scheme.
Bloomington, Indiana, told me, won't you slow down, son? Flagstaff, Arizona, showed me where we all come from. And Silver Spring, Maryland, is where I got this old guitar. Aransaw, Andorra, is where I first fell for her. Let's go east, running down the river, west, we've already been south, yeah, and it feels like home, but my true north is anywhere we can go. Anywhere we can go. Falls Church, North Virginia is where we took our first steps. Santa Cruz, California.
The second chicken that I drew was the buff lace Polish chicken. I absolutely love these. These must be my favorite chicken as of right now. They're just too cute. This one was a younger one, so it didn't have as many fluffy feathers. I definitely would love to challenge myself one day to draw one that has all of the fluffy feathers. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I really loved the colors as well and decided to keep a more pastel feel to the piece, which was very spring-esque in my opinion. I gave it a little chef hat and an apron. I like to think that he baked this cupcake and is very proud of it. I'm proud of him too. I took a lot of time with this piece, shading and highlighting all of the sprinkles. I shaded and highlighted all of the fruit in the last one, but this one took so long. I love how it turned out though, and I thought it was well worth the time put in, but just for time management purposes, I didn't show all of the shading and highlighting. Mostly just the process of coming up with the idea and then making it look the way that I wanted to. So usually with digital art, I do like a really rough sketch and then I refine it afterward and then add the color and then the details and then the shading or sometimes the shading first and then the details, just depending on the piece. And when I draw traditionally, I don't usually have such a rough sketch. I refine it a little bit more before I go in with ink or color. But I think that's just a bit of a difference between digital and traditional. With digital, I think it's easier, I guess, to be messy and then to refine it and not have to worry about all of the residual lines and things like that.
Gemini, born under a spring moon sky. Couldn't change her if you tried. She's got roses on her mind. Watch them grow wherever she wants to go. Never picking up her phone. She adores being alone. Whoa, and they say Juliet, when is she coming around? She ever settling down? They don't know Juliet. She never wants to be found. See, I'm for settling down. She's running with wind in her hair. Can't try to keep her back there. Chasing like she's a hurricane without warning. This in the storm as it's pouring day and night. Chasing all the many lives of Juliet. Starstruck eyes, she's a rebel in disguise. Couldn't see it if you tried. It's so neatly wrapped inside. She's just like her mother's mother. A hit strong, hit first dive. Her daughter floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. She's tame as a river and wild as a sea. Oh, running with wind in her hair. Can't try to keep her back there. Day and night, chasing like she's.
The third one I decided to draw was a chick. I really focused on trying to give him like a fluffy texture. If you've ever touched like a baby chick, they're kind of fuzzy. It took a little bit to find a good brush, but once I did, I really did love how it came out. I was a bit hesitant about the steam. I tried to make it look whimsical, but you'll have to let me know what you think about it. I don't know if I'd like to just delete that or if I'd like to keep it, so you guys could let me know.
Wants to be found, too young for settling down. She's running with wind in her hair. Can't try to keep her back there. Day and night, chasing like she's a hurricane without warning. This in the storm as it's pouring. Day and night, chasing all the many lives of Juliet. On a midnight train on a red eye flight, catch a glimpse of her dress and she's out of sight with her headphones on.
The last one, unfortunately, I had an error with my footage. It was really the cherry on top of the series of unfortunate events. I'm not sure what happened, but the footage was compromised in some way, so I exported the 30-second time lapse just to show you guys how it ended. I tried to export the longer version of the time lapse, but Procreate said it was too long. File was too big. All of these together did take me over 7 hours to draw, so it just wouldn't let me export it, which is fine. To be honest, I time crunched so hard on this video that I was like really done by the time it got to the end. The last chicken is kind of what I consider to be like a classic chicken. If I'm not mistaken, I think it may be a white Orpington hen. It's very cool, and I think he's just enjoying a little tea party. I love him. I did use the cupcake from the last illustration in this one. I thought that was kind of a cool way to tie them together. And then I also used the texture that I had used on the picture in the first picture, and I used that on the pottery in this illustration. And yeah, I just thought that kind of all tied it in together like a set. I would love to know what all of you think about these illustrations, and I would love to know which chicken is your favorite. I have such a big passion for drawing animals and foods, so I would love to know if there are any animals or foods that you would like to see me draw. Let me know in the comments below, and if you've made it this far, consider putting a chicken or a chick emoji in the comments so I know that you made it. And this video may have been slightly chaotic and thrown together, but I hope that all of you enjoyed it nonetheless. Next week, I'm going to try to finish the video I was working on previously, and I guess we'll see how that goes. I hope to see all of you in the next video. Keep creating. Goodbye now.